Greetings. Thank you so much for checking us out. This is the 7-day Learn How to Get What You Want challenge. I am Makeba Evans. This is a moment with me from shareourlovelight.com. Valencia Thompson has graced us with her presence today. Valencia, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. And how are you, Makeba?
I am wonderful. I'm so blessed to have you with us today. Please give us a brief bio on yourself.
Ooh, that depends on what you want to know.
I know, because you are a woman of so many talents, like many of us are. And the great thing is that you're honing in on those. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, us getting what we want. Yes. So one of your wants that I know that I have been blessed enough to embark in and participate in and read is your online magazine. Mm-hmm. So can you talk to us a little bit about your online magazine?
I would love to talk to you about my publication. So our online magazine is called Good People, Great Things. Mm-hmm. And GPGT is what it's also known as. Mm-hmm. And I just want to back up and tell the viewers a little bit about myself. So I grew up writing. I've been writing for as long as I can remember. Mm-hmm. My grandmother and my mother both are educators, and they have a joke because they knew my teachers well. And they said one of my teachers would be like, Valencia would just be in the back room in the corner of the class just writing. And I never knew what she was writing about, but I didn't bother her because she was just writing. So that is the thing that's just true. I learned very early on that writing was a gift from my family because they would kind of hustle my services, I would say.
That's a good way to describe it.
Love them dearly. So I got a lot of practice very early on with writing because of that. Also, I was the weird kid. I remember in probably about 6th grade, I decided I was going to write an anthology of poems. And I dedicated them to all the boys who I liked in my school.
Oh, wow. I love it. Do you still have it?
I do not. But I literally had all this wide rule notebook paper that I stapled, put them on my little bookshelf because I was serious. Like that was me publishing my little book. So, and I don't think I've ever told anybody that, but that's something that I remember that tonight. But so that's just to say that part. Mm-hmm. And then fast forward to where we are now. Mm-hmm. I do write in various genres. Most of the writing I do is ecclesial, and so that means it's church related or biblical mostly. Gotcha. And the publication, Good People, Great Things, is not my idea. It's actually something that God charged me to do.
Okay.
But our current target audience are Black women millennials. Mm-hmm. And our motto at Good People, Great Things is God uses good, parentheses, regular, ordinary, close parentheses, people to do great things.
Okay.
And essentially, we are for the believer who wants to engage culture. As a person who's grown up in church, I have always seen both sides of the coin, where you have some people who are, I hate the term over church, but I can't think of another one because I'm a little sleepy. You have some people who are over church and they want absolutely nothing to do with any secular things. Mm-hmm. And you have some people who are of a secular mindset who want absolutely nothing to do with church. Okay. And so there are these other people like me who love God, we love church, and we want to know what's going on in the world at the same time.
Gotcha.
So that is the goal of this publication. So we believe in God. We're not playing about that, but we're also saying, hey, sometimes I want to know about some art. I would love to know about some music. What is Beyonce doing today, et cetera, et cetera. And while you will see us doing things on our social media pages that mention what celebrities are doing, our actual publication is highlighting the lady from next door that you may not know about, who is hustling and grinding and has a small business, and she's just bringing it and giving it. And so we're shedding some light on what she's doing so that other people who are like-minded can know about her work.
Well, what was the research involved in creating your online magazine, from taking it from a want to something that you now have?
Oh, that's an excellent question. So In terms of research, typically when you dive into any business venture, you're always advised to look at what would be your competition is doing.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see what your target audience interests are.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I mentioned that our target audience is comprised of Black women millennials, so it would make sense for me to find out what we like. My age range is considered to be the oldest of those who are classified to be millennials.
Gotcha.
But I also realize that our interests are different from those who are younger.
Mm-hmm.
Millennials. So millennials is not really a good term to encompass different, because the age range definitely crosses generations. So we have to be very careful. But I digress. So you definitely want to research your target audience and their interests. That's first.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of having a digital publication, you're going to need to know some things about technology, running a website,
Right.
what type of platform will you need to service your needs,
Right.
things of that nature. But to give y'all Valencia style, Makeba, I do have a little bit of a pre-dialogue about this, and I do want to make a mention to the creative who is like me. I'm a person, I tend to dive in first,
Mm-hmm.
and I may do my research as I go along. And the reason being, there's so many people who get crippled by fear.
True.
And because of fear, they don't do. Like, that's just it. They simply don't do.
Yeah.
And thank you, God. I actually came up with a little phrase today in my car when I was thinking about our interview. And I'm praying I can bring it all back. But it was something along the lines of do first.
Uh-huh.
And then after you do, next, become consistent.
Mm-hmm.
After consistency, then you can add in discipline.
Gotcha.
And so for people, again, who are like me, like I'm a person, I'm ready to take action. I'm ready to move. I want to do it right now. So that's how my friends know me. As of course, with age,
Mm-hmm.
I'm now more disciplined. I now do hold off on certain things and wait a little bit longer, but they make a joke. I'm known as the do girl. So like, it's not that, oh, I'm waiting for some perfect opportunity. I'm going to do it with or without money.
Right.
I'm going to do it if somebody does or does not care. That's just kind of how I'm wired. So I want to throw that in there.
Okay. We definitely appreciate that. A lot of us are like that, and it's kind of interesting balancing it all. It's like trying to get a rein on how many things we're doing and spending time on. I wanted to ask you, how do you balance the wife, then the mother of one, and now the mother of two in your experience in life and a business owner and an entrepreneur, because you have quite a few businesses. So how do you balance those?
Great question. So I'm still working on this. This is something that I do struggle with, but I am proud to say somehow, though we've added more people into our family, I'm getting better at it.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, there's a woman who I knew some years back who I worked with her family. She told me before I was a mother, before I was a wife, and I watched their home, it was like some type of sweet chaos. And she said, I know it sounds crazy and strange, but as you get older, it will become easier, even with more things added onto the schedule. And he meant like we're adding family members. And so I now know what that means. The fact of the matter is that when I was single, you hear me using discipline a lot because that's been my new word for this season. Okay. But I was less disciplined. I was kind of just raw with it, like wild with my creativity is what I'm trying to say. Let me be clear what I'm speaking about. It just kind of just out of the pocket, like I'm just going to go in and do it and all those things, and no sense of time, no sense of you have somebody you're interested in, you're going to need to make sure you give them that time and not burn yourself out. So I'm getting better at it. I would love to see what my husband would say, what Jarrell would say. He might kind of roll his eyes a little bit, but I do better about planning somewhat a little bit ahead. I'll let him know, like, hey, babe, this week I have a huge deadline, so I'm not going to be able to help around the house as much as I would like to. I'm not going to be able to cook, and I'm asking for you to please understand. Okay. Sometimes he will understand. Sometimes he may be tired of me asking him that. But that is just how it works.
I know. And that's the thing about asking, is all they can do is say no.
There you go. That is it. But I recently was in a dialogue with another woman. She told me a mentor of hers, who's a fellow attorney. They're both attorneys, not me. Shared with her that this week you can be a great wife, but while you're being a great wife, your job, you're not going to be on your P's and Q's, and your kids like, where my mama at? But next week you can be like the top person in your career, and then you're not so great being a wife, and so on and so forth. But the key is that every week we need to get up and just keep trying to do our best.
Yes, do our best. While we are trying to get what we want, it's like we know that life is so short, and you have to take the time out to try to be the best that you can be. I just see so many of us kind of stuck in a space where we don't know what to do to move to that next step of what we want. And that's why I created this 7-day challenge. I'm sharing little tidbits every day of how to, jumpstart and make that next step to the better future us. So
yeah.
I appreciate you stepping in, taking time out of your day. Can you please tell people how they can find you?
Most definitely. So specifically for the publication for Good People, Great Things magazine, you can feel free to email me directly at info@goodpeoplegreatthings.co.
Okay.
That was .co. Info@goodpeoplegreatthings.co. And currently we have a wonderful campaign that I love. So I definitely want to hear from you if you're interested, where we are creating specific issues for organizations and entities. So if you have a business or a church or a nonprofit and you're like, hey, I would love to have a magazine issue dedicated to me, we're doing that right now. And to make it even more special, you choose who's featured, and you also secure the advertisers. And because of that, you take home half of the advertisement proceeds.
Okay.
So I don't know how long that's going to be in place, but anybody interested in that should definitely jump on it.
Okay. What about Instagram and Facebook and?
Yeah, so we have all of those things. So thank you for reminding me. So for Instagram and Facebook, you can find us at Good People Great Things with an S. Again, that's Good People Great Things on Instagram and Facebook. And then for Twitter, it's GPGTATL. Again, that's GP.
Twitter kind of gets you. You can only do so many characters on there.
That's right. on Twitter, I was going to have to be Good People Great Thing. And I was like, I cannot do it. I was like, I can't do it. So I almost made it, but it didn't work for me. So yeah, so that's what you have. But Makeba, I want to, do we have time for you to throw something in?
Of course.
Okay, because you made me think about your challenge and how to get what you want. I'm so glad you're doing this, because I do have to mention something. And I would get so frustrated when I would hear this before I found some more success. But the key is it takes a lot of hard work. We never want to hear anybody say that.
Yeah.
Typically, in the world we live in with social media, we see people at what we would consider to be their peak, or we see the fruit of their labor, but we don't see the labor.
Right.
And so it's easy to get down and discouraged and like, well, what's up with me? Why don't I have this or that and the third? You don't have a clue as to the work. You didn't see that person's time spent in the trenches or, doing the stuff that nobody wants to do. And it's just a fact, like, there is no red carpet that's going to be rolled out for you.
Right.
I particularly like to talk to people of faith, because I also think there's a lie that because God told you to do something that it's going to be a perfect journey. It's not. It's probably going to be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
And you are going to have to do that work either way. So that's something I definitely want to mention. So to get what you want, you can't have any excuses. Yes, you need money to make things happen, but you can be creative in getting things done, and it may be less money that you need. Yeah. And you got to be willing to have some skin in the game, which means make some sacrifices of your own, out of your own pocket sometimes to make it happen. So
yeah, definitely, because it's your vision and your dream and your want. So you definitely have to invest the time, the effort, the money, the hours,
and use what you have, right? Because some people are like, oh, I can't afford the budget to do this. And I'm not gonna lie, in the past that would hinder me, but I'm like, at this level, example, Facebook Live is free. Yeah. If you want to do something, it's free right now. Okay. Yeah. We don't know how long that will be, but if you're doing some type of broadcasting, use all. That's another thing I live by. use everything that you have access to until you can get to the level of having more resources to do something grander.
Right.
So
Right.
do what you can that you can afford in this season, because what matters is that people see your talent.
True.
And yes, we like to compare ourselves to people who have all the bells and whistles, but the bottom line is talent can be seen even in its rawest form.
Right.
And so you need to do everything you can to put it out to the world what you have to offer.
Yes, yes. If you are watching this live, or if you happen to be checking this out on replay, Valencia and I will peek our heads in every once in a while to answer questions. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to write them below. Make sure you share the video, because we are talking about some fabulous things to help people make changes in their lives instead of being stagnant, because that's what we do, right, Valencia? We empower people.
Right. That's right.
I love this girl.
I love this woman myself.
You try to support your people and they support you, and that's what we're doing. I needed an interview, and my girl was ready, willing, and able after our technical difficulties, and we got it done. So thank you so much, Facebook Live, for tuning in. I am Makeba, shareourlovelight.com, and this is A Moment with Me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.